Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Women in Math and STEM, where our mission is to reach out to as many professionals, aspiring professionals, students, whatever you name it. We try to reach out to them, who essentially support the initiative of bringing more women and young girls into the STEM field. So, with that being said, as always, feel free to open up the description or transcript to better follow along, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Hello, and thank you so much for coming to the call today and speaking with me. Just to sort of start off, do you mind introducing yourself and sort of walking us through your mathematics journey, starting from like what first got you into mathematics, where you're in your math journey now, and sort of where do you see yourself in the future?
Yeah, hi, I'm Samaya. I also go by Maya, so you can call me that. Yeah, so my maths journey was a bit, I guess, non-linear in a sense, if I'm going to put it in math terms. I didn't always like maths. I started off not really enjoying school very much at all, but I did have an interest in physics, specifically space. I thought that was really, really cool. And my passion for maths only really started around secondary school. So yeah, that will be when I was around 11 years old. And I don't quite know what initially got me into it, but I think it just it just made a lot of sense to me. I'd initially really struggled with maths, but I think in my final year of primary school, I spent more time trying to understand things. I had more time in my life, and I really spent the time to consolidate my understanding. So once I moved to the new school, secondary school, I was on an even playing field with everyone else, and that motivated me to really start looking into maths. And it's something that's just continued on since then. I never really took it seriously to begin with. I've enjoyed it, but it wasn't my lifelong passion or anything like that. I was still a physics student at heart, really, until later on when I started sixth form. So when I was 16 years old, I really stopped enjoying physics. I did not have a great teacher. But yeah, um, from there, my passion for maths grew even more. I had some really great math teachers that really inspired me. And yeah, I ended up applying for maths at uni. I initially wasn't sure what to apply for to do maths or computer science or where I was going to be headed. And then ultimately decided that perhaps maths was the best thing. And what I really like about my degree at the moment, so I'm a student at Oxford, it's very easy to choose your courses, especially in later years. So you can sort of build your own degree in a way. So most of the courses I've chosen are physics related courses. So I've still gotten that overlap of the things I really enjoy and the math side of it. So yeah, hope that answers your question. Yeah.
Sounds good. I was also wondering what your experience at Oxford University studying mathematics looks like, and sort of maybe like walk us through a day in your life as a math student at Oxford.
It's a long day, I must say. So it's quite fun. What's nice about it is the college system. So Oxford and Cambridge in particular are divided into colleges. So you've got the central university where you have all the departments, the lectures, all the exams are the same. Everyone gets the same teaching. But in colleges, it's sort of like where you live. So you'll live together with lots of students from lots of different year groups and subjects. And I think that's been probably the most fun bit, just being able to talk to others, not just be stuck in your one department. On the study side of it, it's a lot of fun, but it is Oxford. It's quite demanding and it can be quite competitive at times. But what's nice about it is because it's such a prestigious institution, I suppose, you have the opportunity to meet experts really closely. So we'll have tutorials, which are after lectures, you'll have lessons in a way with maybe two or three other students and one professor who you will be in close contact with for the next 2 years. And you really get to know them and you really get to ask about their research and get a deeper understanding. So just having that opportunity is absolutely amazing. Um, and yeah, so a typical day, it does range as you go throughout the year groups. So once you start off in first year, you'll have a lot of contact time and have lots of these tutorials. So you might have, in maths, you might have something like 4 hours a week. Then in second year, that will half. So you'll have something like 2 hours a week. And by the time you get to third year and fourth year, you'll be so specialized that you'll have classes. So it goes back to a little bit how it was in school. So instead of being in your college with a tutor, you'll be in a department with all the colleges and all be mixed up because you're getting specialized and you need specialist tutors. So yeah, you'll have a lot of work, of course, our favorite part. There'll be something like, it's sort of like a full-time job, I describe it, something like 40 hours a week if you include lectures and problem sheets and tutorials. So often you'll have lectures in the morning, something like 10 hours a week, and then the rest is independent study. So that's quite a big difference from school. But even though it's a lot of work, you do have time to enjoy yourself as well. There's loads of societies and offered loads and loads of things to do. And I myself am not very involved in societies, but I do have lots of time to meet with my friends and go for walks, and I like to cycle as well. So it's fantastic. Yeah.
That sounds like a great experience. Also noticed that you have a lot of experience in terms of math tutoring. I was wondering
Yeah.
like why tutor in math and also sort of what you've learned from that experience.
So I've been a tutor for a really, really long time now, over 5 years, I think, getting close to 5.5 now. So I got my first job when I was 14, and it just started out as something I was a bit nervous to do. Of course, first job, I was 14 years old, and it just kind of something that pushed me a little bit out of my comfort zone. And then quite quickly, actually, so within the year, I developed like a deep bond with the students I was tutoring, not only in a mathematical way, but also you gain a better understanding on how they think and how they solve maths problems. And I think that's probably the most valuable experience that I've gained. It's not only about teaching them the content, but understanding how they make connections and where they come from and what techniques work and what don't, and also how that can vary from student to student. So over the past, students from many different ages and backgrounds and abilities and for different exams. And it's just so exciting that each student had their own independent way of learning maths, whether they enjoy maths or not. They have their own way of understanding things, and one explanation does not necessarily mean it will work for everyone. And I've always just thought it's like a different type of problem solving. So it's the way it's problem solved to answer a question. This is just problem solving on how to explain things in the best way or in different ways if one method doesn't work. It's just a conversation, really, what tutoring is. It's just having a chat about the work, helping them understand it and gain confidence. So that's, yeah, I think that's what I've gained from it. And it also, yeah, it just strengthens your own understanding, and yeah, I'd say it's quite valuable in lots of ways, and I would recommend it to any student or any teacher.
And then, sort of on the same note, I've noticed you're the ambassador of a lot of different groups and organizations. I was just wondering how that experience is and like what sort of inspired you to do that sort of work.
Yeah, so I'm an ambassador for a lot of things. So I'm an ambassador for the Central University. So I've sort of mentioned that the Central University and the college are different things. So I'm ambassador for the Central University as well as my college and the maths department and a charity called the Brilliant Club I work for. So lots and lots of things to talk about. But ultimately, it just started off with me joining the university and wanting to sort of give back in a way, sort of wanting to, I don't know how to describe it, wanting to give back to how I joined the university. So we do a lot of outreach work, which is working from students from disadvantaged backgrounds, all different types of backgrounds. And yeah, I've done residential work, I've done interview talks, open days, things like that. And it was just an absolutely fantastic experience. You get to support other students, and sometimes you watch them become students as well. Sometimes you work on an outreach program, and then in a year's time, they're the next cohort, and that can be really, really exciting to see. And I've gotten emails before, like from students thanking me for their experiences, and that's just been really rewarding. And in a lot of ways, it's similar to teaching. So yeah.
Sounds
Sorry.
sounds good. No, all good. I was just wondering, with all this experience sort of under your belt, where you see yourself in the future.
So unsurprisingly, I've got a lot of teaching experience, and it was that actually made me think about that teaching could be a possible career for me. I'm not 100% sure. I've still got time, but it's a career that I've been most interested in so far. So yeah, I'm still keeping my options open. But yeah. Sorry.
And then I was just curious, like, what you do when you experience very difficult problems, whether it be in math or like in real life when it comes to like tutoring students or talking to students.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it can be quite hard to stay motivated and on topic and inspired during long problem sheets and when you've got many deadlines at the same time. But I found out that like one of the things that work best for me is working with others. So when you work in a group and you discuss problems together, and yeah, I think that was probably the most exciting thing. And sometimes someone else being very excited about a problem will make you excited about the problem. And it sort of just sets off a chain reaction, really. Yeah. Also, sometimes what can be good, especially if you've spent a lot of time on a problem, is to let it go. So walk away, take a break, and come back. And sometimes just in a walk, like your mind will be working in the background, even if you're not actively thinking about it. And you'll sit back down, and the inspiration will come back again, and you will be able to think of a solution, or at least, if not a solution, a different approach. So I think that is what helps, really, working with others and taking it slow.
Sounds good. And then, sort of on the same note, just to end off, I was wondering if you had any pieces of advice for students who are interested in pursuing a career in mathematics or like a degree in math in the future.
Honestly, I would say this regardless of what career or degree you want to do. I would just say talk to people. Talk to people who've done the degrees you want to do. Talk to people at the institutions you want to study at or the careers you want to pursue. Everyone's going to have different opinions, and everyone's going to have different advice. And I think the most important thing is to take all that advice, pick out the bits that you think are and aren't relevant, and use other people's experiences to guide your own in a way. So, for example, if you would be interested in going to a PhD, talk to current PhD students, talk to students who've done PhDs 10 years ago, if you're able to. Just gain as much insider knowledge as you can so you know what you're going into. And also just like be sure that you love the subject as much as you do. If you enjoy what you're doing, like that's the main thing. That should be the only reason for you to go into it. If you don't enjoy it, then better you don't. And if you really, really love it, don't give up, go for it. And yeah, I think that's really what I could say.
Okay, thank you so much for talking with me. It was absolutely amazing. Thank you.